Firmly on your chin. Most of you did this. And I bet if I came to your house, middle of the night, woke you up, shined a flashlight in your face and said, "Where's your chin?" You'd be like, "Here." Like, "Who are you? Why are you here?" But this part wouldn't be hard. This is weird. But you wouldn't have any trouble finding your chin. But in this game, you had trouble because I did this. And in this game, I was the leader. You did what I did, not what I said. And you were following my example. And that's how leadership works. That's exactly how leadership works. You don't have to look around at anyone in the room. You know in your head what it takes to be an entrepreneurial leader. Someone who's going to work hard, do the best, look for opportunity. And if you grow your business and you get employees, you can't tell your employees, you got to work hard, you got to do your best. And then you loaf around and you don't do anything. They're going to get a different message. Now think about it in sports. I saw some basketballs here. I love playing basketball. You're playing pickup basketball with your friends, your teammates. Maybe you're down a few points in the game and you think you should be winning. You tell your teammates, we got to hustle, we got to work hard. And then you loaf around, you don't do anything. Teammates aren't going to listen to you. But if you start hustling, you start getting results. Your teammates are going to pick up on your attitude and they're going to start hustling too. And it's going to help your team. It's the same in business. If you treat your employees with disrespect, they're going to end up treating the customers with disrespect and you lose them. But if you treat your employees with care and fairness, they're going to treat the customers the same way. If you show an example of being on time and working hard, they're going to follow that example more likely. And that's how leadership works. It's not so much what you say, it's exactly what you do. Sorry. We're going to do some fun things today, and then I'm going to give you some points to ponder in between. But I do want to ask this question. There's a saying, I bet you've heard this, and if you have, just fill in the blank. Money doesn't grow on
trees.
Just about everybody's heard that, no matter where I go. And that is in your head. That probably came from a parent or a grandparent who meant well to tell you that advice. What do you think that person meant when they told you that money doesn't grow on trees? What do you think?
You can't just get money wherever you want.
You can't get it whenever you want. And what are they trying to teach you by that principle? You got to work hard to get it. It's attached to effort. What do you think? Anything else? It's got value. Good. Another point to that.
Yeah, you shouldn't take money for granted because you have to work hard to get it.
Right. Again, hard work. You can't take it for granted. And there's a lot of truth to what you're saying, what a lot of adults are teaching you. But sometimes these sayings that get into our heads can be harmful because they're not completely true. I've never seen a tree with dollar bills hanging off. But what are some things that do hang up, come on trees? Apples. How many families buy apples, spend their money to get apples? So that in some way, that's money that does come from trees. What are other great things that we get from trees? What else? Mangoes. Okay, and all kinds of fruit. We could list hundreds of different kinds of fruit, but mangoes, coconuts, and all kinds of great fruit. Other than fruit, what are other things that we get from trees? Money.
Money is paper.
Money's paper. Oh, listen to this. He's thinking kind of deep. Let me see if I got any. I've got paper here. My mom, when I was growing up, used to cut up magazines and newspaper, and she'd have us write notes on this. She was trying to save money. She's the one who taught me that money doesn't grow on trees. She was always trying to find ways to save money. And it's true, money doesn't grow on trees, but it is made out of paper. What I like to do with it is that you can take paper and you can make it in. Does anybody have a dollar bill here?
I do.
Sure. You got a dollar bill? I just trade my dollar for your dollar. See what thinks my dollar is, all right? I'll just trade my dollar for your dollar. All right. What's your name? Cameron. Thank you, Cameron. Money doesn't grow on trees, but it is made of paper. And, you know, there's a lot of money out there. I hope if you're studying entrepreneurship, you're studying business, you're studying Wall Street, there's so much money out there. And sometimes when we get the mentality that money doesn't grow on trees, it is true, it's scarce, and we have to protect it, we've got to think about the work that goes behind it. But the harmful thing about that saying, money doesn't grow on trees, is that we start to limit ourselves. We don't realize that there are millions of dollars out there, there are billions of dollars out there, there are trillions of dollars out there, and that we can find ways, maybe through growing trees, maybe through other entrepreneurial ideas that you're starting to dream up now, that you can come up with this. But this is just something interesting to illustrate this. Thinking about the paper that comes from trees, and some of you are probably thinking about wood. Some people say oxygen, one of the most valuable things in the world we have is oxygen, it comes from trees. But I always wondered what money tastes like. And this is why I trade $1, because you don't want this back after I'm going to do this. It's hard to tear, but I always wondered what money tastes like. Does it taste like the fruit, like mango or apple?
No. Dirty.
You know what this tastes like a little bit? I don't taste mango or apple or anything, but
Taste blood. A ball.
you can taste the mint.
Oh, yeah.
They're for me anyway. But we don't know whether, when you're in an entrepreneurship class or before you come to an entrepreneurship class, you think about being a consumer. Now, you never thought about consuming like this, but you're consumers. You're buying things. As an entrepreneur, consumers take bite out of their money. Their money disappears. The longer they have it, they lose it. But as an entrepreneur, you want to be able to take money, or even less than $1, and you want to kind of make it, whole. I'm going to show you one of the principal magical lessons I've learned, and it's also a business lesson. Again, I showed my little red ball. I can move around like this and make it move in an interesting way. How many people here think they have an idea how this works? Okay, good. It's not that complicated, and I'll show you how it works in a moment. But I want somebody to come up here to get a perspective about how this works up close. All right? How this trick, I want you to see this a little differently than anyone else by coming up front and taking a look. And you know what? I love all you people sitting in the front. I got a heart for some people sitting in the back. Young lady in the, is that orange? No. You want to come up? What's your name? Zool, thanks for helping. I'm going to get need a chair. Would you mind donating your chair for this moment here? I'm going to make Zool comfortable. Have a seat. So I want you to see this differently than anyone else, okay? Now she's up front. She's going to see this a little differently than anyone else, and certainly differently than she saw before when she was in the back. You're still not impressed. You know what? I'm going to do something just for you. Now, Zool came up here. She's going to be a leader. Some of you are going to be a leadership position. Some people already are. Some of you might be leaders in your clubs, leaders on your sports teams. You might just be leaders of your group of friends. And you know what? You don't have to have a title to really be a leader. You don't have to be captain, president, or vice president. You can be a leader doing the right thing at the right time. But I'm going to call Zool here the CEO. She might be the boss of a big company someday. She might have lots of employees. But the boss sees things differently than anyone else. Now with this little red ball as an example, she sees it up close. And she sees things differently. For instance, if I put the ball right here, you can see it, right? Yes, you can, but most students can't see it. And sometimes the leader, maybe a few others, see things that the rest of the company doesn't see. But let me put it over here. You can't see